Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back to another episode of All Chiefed Up. We're back with another podcast for that ass. And today, elite wide receiver coach David Robinson dropped a clip of rookie wide receiver Rashee Rice working out with him in Texas, and it broke the internet. Steve, let's talk about it.
Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. 95% of our viewers are not subscribed, so make sure to go do that. We're trying to get to 20K before the season ends. Also, hit that like button, get this out to more Chiefs fans. Mike, let's talk about Rashee Rice.
Let's do it. Rashee Rice, working out with training with esteemed wide receiver coach David Robinson. It's all the same thing. This is what Chiefs Wire said about it. They said rookie wide receiver Rashee Rice, for instance, is out in Dallas, Texas, working with David Robinson, one of the most esteemed private NFL receiver coaches. He's a former Oklahoma Sooner, and he's actually worked out with Dez Bryant, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, Tyler Lockett, Chris Godwin, Jerry Jeudy, and Christian Kirk, to name a few. Actually, Mecole Hardman actually worked out with him a little bit. But they're saying that Rice shows off some pretty impressive footwork in this clip. Steve, I think we should take a look at the clip. What do you think?
Let's watch it, baby.
Look at that footwork. Hey, that's an impressive in route he just ran right there, Steve. What do you think?
That's crazy, baby. It's awesome how little videos like this just get everybody so pumped about football. That's how you know it's the middle of the offseason, right? But no, it's good to see Rashee Rice getting some work in with David Robinson. I knew I'd heard that name other than the Admiral. And you said he was in Dallas, and I was thinking San Antonio, Texas, the Admiral, David Robinson.
The Spurs.
No. So, yeah, you said Mecole Hardman had worked out with him before. I know I'd seen that name other than the Admiral. So, no, it's good to see him, man. I think Rashee Rice is going to have a really solid rookie year, as much as Andy Reid will allow him to. It all just depends on how much he can be on the field, how many reps he's going to get, and how fast he learns the playbook.
Right. I'm excited about Rashee Rice. But again, he's kind of got a stigma of another Brett Veach trade up in the second round. He's going to have to come in and perform. You don't want to be looked at as Mecole Hardman. He is working out with the same wide receiver coach. We don't want that again. A lot of Chiefs Kingdom split on Mecole Hardman. They thought, hey, he just didn't get a shot. Some people are saying, hey, he got a shot and he couldn't produce. So it's 50-50 with it. I'm kind of curious with Rashee Rice because we took a wide receiver last year in the second round, Sky Moore. Sky Moore, they could not get him involved in the offense last year. It took forever. It's an Andy Reid offense. It does not favor wide receiver rookies at all. I'm afraid Rashee Rice is going to fall into that. Last year, they had to force him into some special teams roles to try to get him in there, getting his hands on the ball. He struggled with it. It just wasn't his thing. It killed his confidence. It was horrible. We've already seen Rashee Rice doing the same stuff in the rookie OTAs and different things, catching punts, catching kickoffs. Are they going to have to do the same thing with Rashee Rice, or do you think he's going to make a mark as a wide receiver? And Chiefs Kingdom saying 500 receiving yards or more.
Yeah, I mean, that 500-yard mark is going to be tough for him to break. And let's be honest, Andy Reid just does not like to use the rookie wide receivers that much. We talked about it all the time. Sky Moore and Rashee Rice are two totally different beasts, though. I think it's two different things. I think last season, Sky Moore, I don't think they wanted to get him into that gadget role, really. I think if they would have used him more, they would have had to use him more like Mecole Hardman, the jet sweeps and this and that, because Mecole Hardman missed a lot of time with injury, so they could have easily plugged him in there, but I don't think Andy wanted to get him started that way. I really don't. I think he has different plans for him.
Right. If you think about it, Mecole Hardman, though, at the beginning of the season, he looked good. He did the gadget role. It was when Mecole, at the end of the season, missed time. That's when you seen Sky Moore start to come up in the offense a little more prevalent. So maybe Mecole Hardman was the reason that Sky Moore couldn't get involved early, and that's why they had to force him into the special teams row. Maybe Rashee Rice doesn't have that because Rashee Rice doesn't really replicate anybody on this wide receiver core. He's not really a Kadarius Toney style. He's kind of close to Sky Moore, as in he does good things with, after the catch. That's what he does. He's like a running back with the football, but he's not going to be really the big elite deep threat that MVS is going to be, to a certain degree. So he almost plays the jump ball type, like we said a D-Hop or something like that would be.
Right. Well, that's one thing about Rashee Rice that you have to be excited about is we got a guy that can play the jump ball, make those contested catches. He's a little bit bigger, very, very athletic. We all saw his RAS score. But the thing about it is he almost relies on playing jump ball to a fault. Like sometimes you can't just rely on that, especially when you're jumping from college to NFL. It's a whole different ball game, a whole different level of athlete. So, I mean, you can't really rely on that. I don't know how they're going to get him into this offense, but I think he's going to see the same challenges Sky Moore saw last year. It's a crowded wide receiver room, especially if they were to go out and get D-Hop. It would really be a crowded wide receiver room. But
Right.
I think something like that would bode well for guys like Rashee Rice and even Justin Ross, though, to get a guy in there that can show them the ropes, give them some tips, show them some techniques, maybe show them, how to do things here and there, more like them, because they're not the typical Andy Reid wide receivers. They're just really not. So, I mean, it would be cool to have somebody in there to show them how they do things. But I don't think Rashee Rice is going to have a bad rookie year. But I don't know if he can hit that 500-yard mark, Mike. I just don't know if he'll get that much playing time.
Right. I got to see more of it. I got to see more when the pads come on. MVS is now your veteran wide receiver on this roster, to be honest. He's played with Aaron Rodgers. He's been in the league longer. He's now had a year with Patrick Mahomes and the Andy Reid offense. Kadarius Toney's now been in the building for almost 8 or 9 months. So he's been here for close to a year. Justin Watson has been here now for a year. Sky Moore's been here for over a year. You name it, they're doing it. Richie is a veteran wide receiver in the NFL. Justin Ross has been here for over a year now. He's not been on the field, but he's been in the culture. So Rashee Rice, it's good to see him working out, trying to get these offseason reps, try to get better, try to get in the offense. I did mention that it was blowing up the internet a little bit. I wanted to show you a few comments of what people were saying online. The first one, he has Debo vibes, says Bobby Tarwacky. And I want to say Tarwacky is the best name I've ever heard. Wacky.
Hey, man, he's not completely wrong either. I mean, I could see where he gets Debo vibes from him because it's that type of receiver, correct?
Right. You think Tarwacky is related to Whacker 110 up there in Cleveland? Oh, Slapnuts Washington.
Deshaun. I don't think Tarwacky's a Slapnuts like Deshaun. So, though I can see the Debo comparison. So that's kind of cool.
Right. Here's the other one I pulled out. Better than D-Hop. More crisp route running. Mahomes homie. Here's what I want to say about that one. You watch this guy do a fake route that works on footwork. You watched him do a simple in route. And you're telling me that he has better route running ability than a Hall of Fame wide receiver. I don't know about that.
I don't have words for this one, man. I don't want to call the guy slap nuts, but damn.
That's a slap nut kind of comment.
Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad.
That time's yours.
The time is yours, Chiefs Kingdom. So what'd you have to say on our last video? Let's check it out.
Time's yours. I love saying that. I love it, Andy. Let's look at it, Steve. Number 1 comes from Scott Crosser. Scott Crosser is a member. By the way, that little cool KC there, you can become a member of the ACU crew. It starts at $4.99. Go to join.allchiefedup.com. Do that for us. It helps the channel. He says, Furious George of the Arrowhead Jungle is definitely going good and has all the potential in the world. Go Chiefs. Steve, that's in reference to the guy saying that Furious George was not a nickname in the last episode. I don't remember what his name was, but
actually covered a couple of them. He was kind of saying, hey, it is Furious George. And he did not underperform in his rookie year. He had a really good rookie year. It amazes me that people think that George Karlaftis didn't have a good rookie season. Like, I don't know what you're expecting from guys if you think that was a bad rookie season.
Look, no disrespect, but they had to be watching Daniel Harms and Ron Tracy.
Because they hated George Karlaftis.
They hated Karlaftis. They came around, so no shade. They came around, but these people actually must have just watched the first half of the season and then missed the part where they came around, and they're still, and their eyes don't work, and they didn't watch any, Chiefs football from the midpoint on. But let's move on. Comment number 2. Ray028 says, I remember when Mike Blorio wanted teams to try to hurt Mahomes in the 2019 playoffs. Now he is worried about Mahomes' contract. What a clown. This is referring to our story yesterday, our video. If you haven't watched that, go hit it up. Florio comes out. He's obsessed with Mahomes. He's obsessed with the wallet, Steve. He's obsessed with it. He keeps talking about this contract. He said the Chiefs were
Patrick
cheap.
Mahomes for way too long.
And he said Mahomes was a sucker, Steve. Come on.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's as dumb as it sounds. This guy's been talking about Patrick Mahomes' money ever since the offseason started. It's like it's the only story he's got to throw out there to try to get people to pay attention to him. I'm not having it. I just think it's stupid, man.
It is stupid. And a lot of people said, hey, he's just doing it to rile people up and get them talking about him. Yeah, that's true. And yes, I'm going to talk about him because I'm going to call him an idiot. It's that simple.
Slapnuts.
Yeah, he's a slapnuts. And with that being said, Brobastic Broham comments, looked up ass clown in the dictionary, and it was a picture of Florio. That sums it up pretty well. Adams Family KC says Mike Florio is the mayor of Slapnutsville. I thought
Yes,
that
sir.
was pretty good. And then Chief Kelsey, Florio is a slapnuts. Chief Kelsey, also a member of the ACU crew. Steve, it's looking like a lot of our fans think that Florio is a slapnuts. I think he may rightfully be the next in line of the slapnuts chain.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he is a slapnuts through and through. And I think anybody can point this out. I think people, with common sense, and even people that don't have common sense, can still sniff out that Mike Florio is just an idiot out there trying to get people to view his stuff. Because, I mean, dude, it's just dumb. It makes no sense to sit and talk about another guy's money so much.
Are you saying they can sniff the slapnut? They can sniff the nuts.
Sniff his slapnuts.
That sounds disgusting. Let's move on. Jimmy Wallace says, no one will remember what a player's salary was. They will, however, remember winners, those who excel at their craft, and those who were involved in legacies. Steve, Jimmy Wallace is spot on. This is what Mahomes is doing. It's what Brady did. Nobody ever dogged Tom Brady for taking pay cuts and taking good contracts to build a team around him and win Super Bowls. But now that Mahomes, is it because is it that he's a half black quarterback? So now they just want to be, they want to play the race card over here and prove that that's a thing? Or is it because he's a small market guy? What is it that they just want to keep hounding on Patrick Mahomes? It's like he can't win no matter what he does.
It really doesn't make any sense, because when Tom Brady did the exact same thing, it was like one of the things people were all gushing over. Like, oh, look, Tom Brady, he takes less money so he can have good teams and win because he wants to be a winner, and that makes him the greatest of all time, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's all we ever heard, and now no matter what Patrick Mahomes does, he cannot win. Like you said, with the media anyway. But you know what he can win? Super Bowls, and that's what he's going to continue to do, and he will shut them up sooner or later. It's going to get to a point to where they're just going to have to accept it and move on.
Patrick Mahomes, by the time it's all said and done, he's going to be the best quarterback to play the game. He may not have as many rings as Tom Brady. I get it. That's going to be tough to do. But you don't have to have as many rings to be considered the most talented quarterback to ever play the game.
No.
And I believe that he's going to be that. And he gets paid. Believe me, he's not missing no meals. This guy gets paid from all aspects. He just treated his entire family to a golf retreat in Hawaii for a week. He's going to be fine. So let's chill with that one. Moving on, Kevin Capel, another ACU crew member, says, media propagandists are furious that a small market team has drafted the best QB. They're jealous that he's not in their big market hellholes. Steve, that's 100% what I just said.
Yeah.
They don't like Kansas City because we're a flyover state, we're a small market team, and they hate the fact that we're dominating the whole NFL. They'd rather it be a elitist coast team or the Dallas Cowboys, let's be honest.
Right. Of course they want their New York teams or LA teams to flourish, right? That's what they want. That's how they make the most money. But, I mean, I don't even know why the media cares that much who's winning. They still have somebody to talk about. And they get – that's the thing, Mike. They create their own narrative, right? It doesn't matter who's winning. They get to decide if they want to gush over him like Tom Brady or if they want to question his every move like Patrick Mahomes. I don't know what makes that happen or constitutes them to do this or that. But there's something there, man, and I don't know what it is, but I think a lot of people are just getting tired of it because Patrick Mahomes is like the model like guy that you would want on your team. He's possibly the best quarterback to ever play, ability-wise. He's a great kid. He's smart. He does everything right. He's not asking for a lot of money. He says the right things on the microphone. He does the right things for charities. He's a family man. He defends his family even to a fault sometimes. And it's just like he is everything that people should want to be the leader of their franchise, like a role model for children and things like that. But no, he gets dogged straight into the ground.
He's everything the media said they wanted. He's progress moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the quarterback. They said that there's no other quarterbacks but white quarterbacks. We have like biracial quarterbacks, black quarterbacks now. He's the face of the NFL. And this is exactly what they said they wanted, moving forward to progress the game and everything. And yet they're dogging him, and they didn't dog the white quarterback down, that won in New England by cheating and then went to Tampa Bay to take a sellout team. And they don't want to dog that one.
It makes you think, did they ever want that? Did the media really want that?
No.
Could they have been better to Steve McNair? Could they have been better to Warren Moon and guys like that, Donovan McNabb? Yeah, but I think it's just showing their true colors sometimes.
Michael Vick before
Michael Vick,
the dog fighting.
They were quick. Well, they were quick to run the guy into the ground about his dogfighting stuff, which obviously it's abhorrent and terrible. And but I mean, they were way quicker to run him into the ground and lift him up. Let's put it that way. And I think they'll continue to do that.
Yeah, I do too. M. Gardner 70 says, Mike Florio, and Bart Scott must sit around thinking of dumb things to say. Congratulations, they have won. That was in reference to the whole Bart Scott, saying that, what was it that he said the other day? He said that the
Chiefs weren't a top 5 AFC team.
That's what it was. Dude,
Yeah.
he's saying so much stupid stuff that I can't keep up with this guy. I actually thought they were referring to Emmanuel Ocho, which that's a whole different story.
They're kind of the same person. If you think about it.
They're kind of just the same dumb person. Brent4536, who is also a member of the ACU crew, says, even though we are a passing team, Steve, running the ball was a key piece that helped us win the Super Bowl last year. So how concerned should we be that our tackles got worse at run blocking with Smith and Taylor? And we kind of brought this up when we signed Taylor. Everybody was like, look, Taylor's awesome. Let's give him $80 million. Let's give him whatever it is.
Right.
He's an instant upgrade. And we were like, well, his run blocking stuff is not very good with Jacksonville. He's a good pass blocker. Run blocking, not so good. OBJ on the left side, heck of a run blocker. His pass blocking was a little suspect, but if the Chiefs want to run the ball with Pacheco and things like this, you got to get better at running the ball. I think he makes a valid point. I'm going to have to see it to think that we got better at, run blocking here.
Right. Well, I do think it's an upgrade at the offensive line for the Chiefs, and that's just because they're a pass-heavy team. That's just what they do. But I think he makes a very, very valid point here that they have regressed just a little bit on the run blocking, and that does suck for a team that wants to really start, getting a run game solid and actually leaning on it a little bit, because you could tell that Andy Reid was actually leaning more towards Pacheco than we thought he ever would by the end of last year. I think he realized what he had, and he realized he had a guy that's the truth, and that they can rely on a guy like that. And I want to see more of that going forward, and I hope it's not as much of a regression at run blocking as we think it might be. But, I mean, if you look at the numbers, the stats and everything like that, and the PFFs and everything, it is a pretty significant drop back as far as run blocking goes.
Right. Well, Orlando Brown Jr. yesterday was on NFL Live, and I got to check it out. It was a good watch, to be honest. Like, he's very smart. He's very smart at what he does. I mean, it wasn't smart probably holding out for so much money in KC. I'd have rather stayed here than playing with the Bungles, but he took it any way he could get it. They were very enamored with him. The way Dan Orlovsky looked at that guy, it was like he was in love. But he actually was talking a little bit about blocking for Mahomes and Joe Burrow, and he was making a point that, hey, it was tough to block for Patrick Mahomes. We had said that last year.
Right.
We said that Patrick Mahomes takes deeper drops than other teams or other quarterbacks. He holds the ball longer than other quarterbacks. And the fact that we don't rely on a run game so much lets defenses tee off on him. And this is an actual quote he had yesterday, Steve. He said, now, as opposed to having to play in a lot more space with guys on my edge, guys have got to rush through me because Joe Burrow isn't necessarily at 12.5 or 13 yards on certain drops. He's going to be at 7.5 getting the ball out. And we said that time and time again, and people use that to knock Orlando Brown Jr. He brought up the point that against, I don't remember who it was he said, it might have been the Titans, Mahomes threw the ball 70-some times. And he's like, when you don't rely on a run or you at least keep them honest, it's easy. Those guys on the other side are making money too, and they got families to feed. You can't always win things. And Chiefs Kingdom was so down on Orlando Brown Jr., and I think a lot of it was a little unfair, to be honest. And I'm curious if Donovan Smith, an older guy that he's not as mobile and he's not as swift on his feet, how do you expect this guy to hold up 70-some blocks a game on the left side?
Well, so a lot of Chiefs Kingdom that hates Orlando Brown Jr. are going to use that quote against him and say he's taking a shot at Mahomes and this and that.
No.
That's not what he's doing at all. He's really telling the truth. Joe Burrow's more of the guy that's going to stay in the pocket and get rid of the ball faster. Mahomes is not that guy. He's just not. We talked about that. We talked about that's why Orlando Brown struggled a lot. It's just the truth. He's not lying when he says that.
Hey,
so, I mean,
just another truth bomb from All Chiefed Up. We were telling you guys Orlando Brown Jr. Was struggling because Mahomes takes a deeper drop.
Right.
He's saying it right now.
He
holds the ball longer. That's the number one stat. Mahomes holds the ball longer than anybody in football.
Right, but
these were the points we were making, and everybody said we were crazy.
Well, I wanted to touch on what you said about Donovan Smith. I really hope it doesn't get to a situation where people are like, crap, maybe Orlando Brown wasn't as bad as we thought.
Right.
We don't want it to get to that point.
No.
Absolutely not. So let's hope that Donovan Smith can hold up with this type of an offense and that type of a quarterback, because he's coming off of playing with Tom Brady, who gets the ball out faster than anybody in the entire NFL.
Tom Brady has the ball gone
used to this.
in a second.
He's not used to this, and he's also had a run game to rely on with Leonard Fournette. Guys, I don't know, man. It's yet to be seen, and I do think that it's somewhat of an upgrade of the offensive line as far as pass protection goes, but we have not seen Donovan Smith in a situation with this type of offense, with that type of quarterback.
You just have to
wait and see.
You hit the nail on the head. That is what scares me. This guy asked this question. Great question, by the way. Great question by Brent. Brent, I think there was a few comments, and everybody was, you know how Chiefs Kingdom are. It just OBJ was bad. It's better now. And I'm with you. If it gets to the point that we're like maybe missing Orlando Brown Jr. a little bit, we're in trouble. It's going to be a bad season. And it could be. Mahomes holds the ball 10 times longer than Brady. He takes bigger drops than Brady. We got an older, more injury-prone left tackle sitting there. And if that becomes the case, you better hope to God Wanye Morris hit, or you better hope Jawan Taylor can move it over to the left side seamlessly.
Right. Well, it doesn't matter how bad it gets. Chiefs Kingdom's not going to admit that they miss Orlando
They'll never
Brown.
admit they were
wrong. I'm
wrong.
not saying they even will miss him. Even if Donovan Smith is not as good as you think he might be, you're probably still not going to wish you had Orlando Brown back.
Right.
But, I mean, I just don't want it to be on the same level. If we're gonna get better and we're gonna progress and upgrade, then that's what I want to see. I don't want to see anything like I saw last year.
Same. Moving on, Richie King, another ACU crew member, says, you could put Ray Charles with Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce and still have the best trio. He was referring to the trios they were listed where I think Mahomes and them were three, maybe?
No, there were two. They had Cincinnati in front of them. It was a quarterback, running back, and wide receiver / tight end trio, and they put Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, and Jamar Chase above Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Isaiah Pacheco.
Not
I see what they were trying to do there. I see what they were trying to do, but they were reaching real hard, and it didn't work. It didn't work because
it wasn't
look,
right.
Man, if you have the best duo in NFL history on the second place trio, you missed the mark. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, look at this new quote I found from Burrow today. I want to be the best in the world, says Joe Burrow. And I mean, I'm with him. I think he's close to being able to do it, but he's going to have to beat Pat when it counts. He can't just beat him in the regular season and claim 1-3 all the time. It's just
maybe he could. You know what he probably should do is next time they're playing the Chiefs, like if there's any stairs by the tunnels or anything like that, maybe he can put some Hot Wheels on them or something and get Mahomes to fall and
maybe
hurt
some
himself.
paint buckets, from the rafters or something.
Maybe get the doorknob really, really hot so Mahomes burns his hand and can't throw the ball. I don't know, something like
Possibly. We got another one. Chiefs Kadarius Toney flips off New York Giants. Matthew Bachman got in the comments and he said, "You super fan go jail. All NFL super fan not go jail." I have no idea what Matt Bachman is smoking, Steve, but he should probably lay off the weed. Off of it, buddy.
What the heck is that guy even trying to say? That was not the English language.
I have no idea what he was doing. We got one more here. At 2 times 2 is 89. Great math skills. Acho is FS1, not ESPN. Thank you. I agree with him. Lamar Jackson is clearly better than Mahomes. He got more MVPs and won more trophies. What in the world are you counting when it comes to hardware? Because Lamar Jackson has what? One MVP trophy, and that's it.
Dude, I don't know. It's hard to even think that these people are real. Like, I automatically, when I see stupid comments like that, my brain automatically goes to they're trolls, right? But maybe the guy that put the last comment up that we couldn't quite read, maybe they went to the same school. You think that? And maybe they're the same dude.
It's possible. Well, 2 times 2 is 89. Threw it out there. I intercepted it. I'm crossing half court. I'm crossing the 3-point line. It's a 2-on-1.
Alley-oop.
I alley-oop it to Steve, and
boom, shakalaka.
Get your trash out of here. Good God.
He got dunked on. And for the last one, Jeff Moore, 6279, said, your guy Smack Talk is top tier. Thank you, Jeff. Congrats on the 10K subs as well. Thank you again, Jeff. Just thought I'd drop a compliment for that ass.
For that ass.
And I appreciate you, Jeff. That's comment of the day. And with that, time has been yours, Chiefs Kingdom. Let's get on to another story today, Steve. NBC Sports is reporting tickets for the Dolphins-Chiefs game in Frankfurt, Germany, sold out in 15 minutes. Did you expect that, or did you not expect that?
Yeah.
And also, is that a bad sign that we're going to start playing more games overseas? Because I don't want it.
They're going to play more games overseas. If Roger Goodell's in charge of this boat, that's where he's navigating it to. I'm just telling you right now. He wants this to be a worldwide thing. He forgot that it's called the National Football League. He wants to make it the World Football League. I wouldn't even be surprised if he doesn't try to change the name of the freaking thing later. But this is what they're going for, man. And yeah, there are plenty of fans worldwide that want to watch this stuff. So when they get an opportunity, it's going to sell out fast. It's going to. No surprise. I mean, you have to think a lot of those European countries, especially. Look how many of them love soccer, man. They sell out massive soccer stadiums. People are obsessed.
They love the Chiefs. Check this one out. I found this guy on Twitter today. He said, well, I had no fighting chance to purchase tickets to see the Chiefs in Germany. If you want to look right down there, he was on the queue list. 1.2 million people were in front of him to get tickets to that game. It's a stadium that probably holds between 70 and 100K maybe. I'm not for sure how much it holds, but 1.2 million was on that queue list, and I'd say it was higher. That is unreal. The NFL,
they're telling what the prices of the tickets are either.
They're saying on the resale market they're going for $4K. That's insane. You could buy a house for what you could go watch a football game.
Money talks, and anything that's making that much money, they're going to explore it further. So all these guys better get ready to start playing more international games.
Adam Teicher actually come out today, Steve, with a little Deneric Prince love. He says Prince, a rookie undrafted free agent, took advantage of a thin running back depth chart and stood out as a receiver during offseason practice, making several difficult catches. With Pacheco recovering from offseason surgery, Prince has a chance to claim not only a roster spot, but some playing time if he shows an aptitude for pass protection at training camp. This is big, Steve. ESPN, Teicher, all these guys are starting to come around to what we've seen since day one. Deneric Prince is a stud. He is a stud. He's going to make this team, and he could get some playing time, says Adam Teicher. I'm with him.
Yeah, I don't doubt it at all. I don't think it'll be a lot of playing time at first. I think he'll be strictly special teams at first, probably kick returns or something like that. Because you did have Dave Tope talking about how he reminded him of Niall Davis and stuff like that. So I think that's the idea they have at the moment with him being that fourth running back. But if something were to go on with Clyde or anything like that or any kind of injuries, don't be surprised to see Deneric Prince in there thriving at the running back position in the NFL. I just think that he's got the body for it. He's putting in the work, and he's talented enough to get it done, and he's in a great place to be able to succeed. Running backs thrive in Andy Reid offenses, even though he don't use them that well, but they always tend to do well with him, so he's in a great place.
Right. I actually see somebody in our comment section, I can't think of who it was, said that he has a good frame for the NFL, but his speed's just not going to project. He was the number one speed scorer.
I think they were guessing. They had to be guessing, right? They're like, what would make this guy not
Doesn't he run better than a 4.4?
He must be slow. He ran a 4.41.
That's insanity. And he was the fastest running back at the combine, if I'm not mistaken.
He won the speed test thing.
Deneric Prince is going to be a beast. I'm glad the Chiefs got him. Steve, this guy tweets, new Madden looks so real at Stone Cold Jones. And then he puts up some pictures. Chris Jones at the bottom says, real weird. Dude, Stone Cold is priceless on Twitter, man. It's
great. Because, let's take a look at this guy. We all know what Chris Jones looks like. He's a young, handsome man. He's strong, dude. He's in good shape.
It doesn't not look like him, right?
Whatever.
It kind of looks like him and don't look like him.
Mike,
does that make sense?
This looks like somebody's Uncle Cletus that's cooking barbecue in the backyard. He's out there smoking stuff, probably wearing some, overalls. I don't know. Just look at this guy's face. They even put little age spots on his face and stuff. What were they doing to Chris Jones? Who did he piss off at EA Sports?
Hey, I don't know. He actually went on to say, I'm tweeting EA Madden NFL every day until they respond. He is fired up over this ugly-ass character they made for him.
I don't blame him.
Dude, I'll give EA a little credit, though. It kind of resembles...
No, it does not. What are you even looking at? Maybe he's if Chris Jones had a really rough life in 20 years, that might be Chris Jones.
No, it kind of looks like Chris Jones a little.
Pull it back up. Pull it back up.
It kind of Like,
Mike.
like if you shut your eyes and open them really.
Mike, catch this
What?
alley-oop, buddy.
Boom shakalaka.
In your face. You're wrong. Get it off the
There's
screen.
no way.
You got
Okay.
dunked on. Go away.
Okay. Hey, they redrafted the 2021 NFL draft. I wanted to bring this up for you.
Nice.
The Wenzel perspective. They redrafted. They have Trevor Lawrence going to number 1. Michael Parsons coming up to number 2. Justin Fields staying at 3, which I thought was a little strange. Jamar Chase moving up to 4. Jalen Waddle to 5. Christian Daurice at 6. Patrick Surtain at 7. J.C. Horn at 8. Penei Sewell at 9, which I was a little surprised by. Amon-Ra St. Brown went top 10. Trey Lance stayed in a top 15 pick is beyond me.
Trey Lance stayed in the draft?
He stayed in the draft. Yeah, he should have been well out of the first round. Creed Humphrey come in at 13. If the Dallas Cowboys would have drafted Creed Humphrey right there, I would be devastated right now. I mean, that's pretty awesome to go from second round. Where's Nick Bolton at in this draft?
Right. I mean, they did miss the mark here just a bit. First of all, Trey Lance, why in the heck is he even on this list? Justin Fields.
He should be off that list.
Is it just me or is Justin Fields getting a lot of unwarranted hype this offseason?
He is. Justin Fields isn't that great. We're going to see Justin Fields week 2. I'm pretty sure it's week 2.
I mean, I don't think
We're going to
Justin
see
Fields
what Justin Fields
bad,
can do.
but I don't think he's going to be what everybody keeps thinking. But Creed Humphrey, to be able to, that was the second rounder, and I'm with you. Nick Bolton should probably be on this list as well. I think both of those could be a top 15 to 20 pick if they redrafted. And I think Creed Humphrey could go much higher than 13 if a team needed him.
If you're telling me right now at number 11, you can have Trey Lance or you can have Nick Bolton, I'm taking Nick Bolton all day. I don't care if it's a linebacker that you could draft later. I'm taking Nick Bolton over Trey Lance. I'm taking Nick Bolton over Mac Jones at 15 too. Yeah, that's just the way it is. That's what I'm doing. I thought this was a funny chart. Somebody threw this up. The NFL QB hate meter. Look who's sitting at the top. Of course, it's Josh Allen, Russell Wilson. There's Dak Prescott. Is that Deshaun Watson up there just leading the pack?
Whacker. Yeah, of course he is.
And then, of course, you've got old man Rodgers. But look who's the last one in the hated category. That's old Patrick Mahomes. We know that he's hated. He's hated by everybody that doesn't support the red and gold.
Because he
wins.
But
I mean, come on. It's because he wins. If you notice that top tier is winners. You don't see anybody well,
they got Josh Allen in there, but we'll excuse it.
Hey, they got Deshaun Watson and Dak and Russell Wilson. So they're hated off social issues, though. You know, Dak's hated because he's in Dallas. Everybody hates Dallas unless you love him. Wacker's hated because he's a molester. Russell Wilson's hated because he's cringy. Rodgers is hated because
he's high.
I guess
you got Josh Allen, who's hated
Josh
because
Allen's just kind of
he's a crybaby.
Yeah,
he's just a little whiny, spoiled kid is what he is. No, of course people don't like him. But what literally about Patrick Mahomes do you hate besides the fact that he wins and he beats your team? Like, you're going to say his Kermit voice makes you so mad that you hate him? Like, what do you have on this guy? Oh, he's married to Brittany, and that's the craziest woman of all. No one gives a crap what your opinion is about all this stuff. Like, you're just looking for something to hate about this guy.
I think Daniel Jones sitting there at the 50-50 mark. I mean, I don't hate Daniel Jones, but as a quarterback, he's not good. Let's just put it that way. That undeserved money came his way. And then I would say Kirk Cousins. People hate on Kirk Cousins a little more than 50-50 too. I feel like he should have been a little higher.
You know what the most wrong thing on this list? What? Jalen Hurts under Dak Prescott. Jalen Hurts is not disliked. Jalen Hurts is hyped up so much and loved by everybody. Like, he should be down there in the bottom.
Right. Everybody, they act like he's God's gift to the QB position.
Running back to his...
Yeah, man. That's going to wrap it up for today, though. We want you guys to watch this video that YouTube thinks that you're going to love. And thanks for subscribing and hitting that bell. Steve, you have anything left for him?
That's it. We'll see you next time.
There goes a sight from my soul.